Hey everyone, this is Judi with JLBCrafts. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. Are you ready? We made it. We are halfway through the year and we are ready to start capital letters. This is the pinnacle. This is what all the hard work has been leading toward. Because the capital letters, when you do calligraphy or hand lettering or anything fancy, when you're developing a style, all the flair can go into the capital letters. So if you've been following me since last year, you know the capital letters go in alphabetical order. So there won't be jumping around. We're just gonna start with the A and end with the Z at the end of the year. I did mostly keep the same words from month to month. However, I did make sure to include any months. So April, August, and if you don't want to practice your UST and you just want more opportunities for capital A, just write AUG over and over and over. But a lot of us are still playing with the S and whatnot, so we'll put the whole word there. You can always grab extra paper if you want to do extra capital A's. But this is where the fun really begins, and I'll be quite honest with you, there's so much opportunity and variation in capital letters that lots of times I need to go back and look at what I did last year to remember what I landed on, what I liked. So to that end, let me just, well, I'll wait to show the letters until we get to where we're gonna actually start writing the A. So I'll just include that with my tour through the different options from all my different hand lettering. Oh, I got hiccups. All my different hand lettering options. So I do want to let you know, July words are ready. We're gonna get December in July. I'm toying with trying to go back and include some more planner-y words, but for now at least, December is the only month that falls in the letters that are in July. So, and this will be posted on all my social media, so you can download the picture if you don't want to screenshot it or pause it and write these all down. But I will be posting these probably around Tuesday next week. So just a couple days from when you're watching this video, if you're watching it as soon as it appears. So for this week, the week of June 27th through Sunday, July 3rd, it's not the 4th of July, but it's the 4th of July weekend. So I know there will be fireworks. I know there will be, you know, barbecues and get-togethers. We'll still have Monday the 4th off, but I'm going to go ahead and do red, white, and blue florals for this week. So I have the watercolor boxes and florals by Kell of a Plan because I love these. Now there's purple in here, but there is a really deep, dark, rich red and blue in here. So I'm going to use these. I have two Simply Gilded washi tape options. This one with silver foil that's red, white, and blue. And so I thought I'd just lay them on here and see. And then this one, which is white, that has, it's blue foil, silver foil, and believe it or not, there is a tiny little bit of red foil in there. It's more prevalent on the wider washi, but there is a little bit there. So I think that answers my question. I think I'm going to go with the red, white, and blue. So I'm going to get started. Feel free to skip this part or fast forward, but I will be, it's already sped up by now. So I am just going to do my washi tape along the edges and my florals in the center and across the top. And I do have that link for a coupon if you sign up for her Truly No Spam newsletter. The link is there, and you get $5 off your purchase of $15 or more if you've never signed up before, and I get that same coupon. So far as I know, the coupon does not expire because I've got a few now. Thank you all very much who signed up. And that coupon is that $5 off. That covers shipping on medium and small orders. So if you place a really super big order, I don't think it'll cover shipping, but most of the orders I place, that's enough to cover shipping. Okay, for bullet points, I want to go with asterisks because I feel like they're going to look the most like fireworks. So, so I'm just going to alternate between, there's a couple different shades of red here and a blue. So I'm just going to go, well, that one's kind of orangey. So I'm just going to alternate between red and blue. So let's write in our assignments. I'm gonna grab a micro perm because I came way out with sticker over here and I wanna go ahead and write the word as close in there as I can. So let's see, Monday the 27th, we have capital A. And then we start, obviously all of our words are gonna start with A because you don't put a capital letter in the middle of a word. So axis, and some of the words are a little bit odd, and that's because I'm trying to cycle us through as many of the 26 lowercase letters as I can. So there's an X, here's a Z, azure, which is a fancy word for the color blue, afar. Yes, you knew I had to put an F in there. Army. And basically those are all the same words as last year, and then I just, whenever there's a month, I substitute those in for a couple of the words. So we'll write April and August. There we go. Okay, so I am going to pick my pens and zoom in, and I'll be back. Alright, so here are the pens I've chosen, from firmest to softest, because I write with a heavy hand, so it's easier for me to control the firm pens than the soft pens. You may very well be the opposite, so then you could go from softest to firmest, but definitely warm up with the easiest pen for you to use and work towards the harder and the more difficult end of the pens. So for blue, I have the Vice brand dark blue one. That's the firmest. Then I have the Calligraphy. I'll be using the small end. It says magenta, but it's a nice red, crimson color. I have the lighter of the two Pentel Touch Brush Sign Pen gray pens. That's my white for red, white, and blue. And then I have the lighter of the two red Le Pen Flexes with my pencil grip to fatten that up so it's easier to hang on to. You may not need that. I do, partly because of my fingernails. So anyway, so I'm gonna warm up down here, starting with face. And I did cut away some of this sticker to give myself some more space. So let's get started. So I'm starting with the Vice brand color brush pen. Next, I have the fine end of the Calligraphy. Let's just put a great big giant A on here. So pretty. I love the fat end of the pens. If you missed my yesterday dashboard video, I did do some hand lettering in that for that spread. Okay, this is the Pentel Touch Brush Sign Pen, so softer yet. And finally then the Le Pen Flex, which is the softest of the pens today. Okay, so let's do a deep dive into the options we have for the capital A. So now that we've spent 6 months understanding why the fat lines are fat and the skinny lines are skinny, they don't have the worded directions in here anymore. So you can tell, since this is a heavy, they're starting up here at the top line and they're doing a heavy down and a little curl. And then this is a slightly heavy at the top. So they're coming back up here and they're doing another heavy down with a big curl, and then they're doing a big cross there. So it's more in the style of just a flourished printed A. Now if we look at some of our other sources that I've been citing for all these months. So here is the Tombow Fudenosuke calligraphy pen, free printable, that is linked in all of my videos. And they're really just doing a standard. You can tell here they're starting at baseline and they're doing a light up, heavy down, and a little bit of a curl, and then they're just doing a straight up crisscross there. No curve to it, no nothing. So theirs is actually kind of the opposite. They've got the light on the left hand side and the heavy on the right hand side. So light up, heavy down with a little tail there, which is good for connecting. Next I have the Rainbow Crayola book. And here is the first one where they show you two different options. So there are two common ways to create an uppercase A. The first version has a crossbar connecting the two strokes. So here you can see they're doing the same thing. They're starting about halfway between midline and baseline. And they're doing a little light curvy thing, even though they're headed down with it. It's a little flourish. And your flourishes tend to be lighter. So they're doing a little curl into a light up. And then they're doing a heavy down. And they're going a little bounce lettery here below the baseline, but you don't have to. Just do it if you want. And then they're doing a little bit of a curvy flare cross of the crossbar. All right, but they've got the tail here, so it's easier to connect to. The second version has a bowl and a downstroke. So this is basically our lowercase a, just bigger, right? So up here at the high end, they're doing their light entrance in because it's an up, heavy down, light up, and then a second stroke, which is your heavy down, light up. And again, they're doing a little bit of bounce letter thing where they're dropping a little bit below baseline. You do not have to. You can save it for when you are doing bounce lettering. So that's that one. And you can get this book if for ease and convenience. I do have an affiliate Amazon link to it. You can order it. It's in all of my videos. But I encourage you to check out your Dollar Tree because they are still there. This is the boxed set from Crayola that I got at Walmart. And we've actually been looking at this all year because of looking at the lower cases. Now we're going to look at the upper cases, the majuscules. So they're doing more of the printed style, the light up, heavy down, and you can see they've got quite a lot of slant going on theirs. Because both of those are slanted. It's just this entrance stroke is a lot more slanted than this one. And then they've got this, they're getting the most flare fancy into that little crossbar. So you can see it's kind of midway fat, wide. It's wider than this entrance light upstroke and skinnier than this exit heavy downstroke because they're going diagonal. So it's kind of halfway in between, kind of like our K. And then finally, I have the Calligraphy Made Easy book that I happened to get at Walmart. There are lots of places to get it. And so let's see what we've got here. So these are minuscules. Again, lowercase letters are minuscules. We need the majuscules. Oh, wait, that's alternates. So I did not get in here ahead of time and look up the options, minuscules. So it goes from minuscules to minuscule alternates. Okay. Here we go, majuscules. So, and then we'll see if there are majuscule alternates. So theirs is more, again, of just same thing as our lowercase, just bigger, right? So they're doing the oval stroke and then the down. And again, coming way up to midline for a connector point for a tail. And you can see the whole entire letter is at a little bit of a slant. And then let's see if there are alternates for the majuscules. Oh, here we go, alternates. And theirs, of course, is the printed. So they're starting at baseline and they're doing a light up, heavy down, and then they're doing a bit of a swirly crisscross. So basically just the variation between the printed and their handwritten. So here's what I did last year. I'm going out of order a little bit because there are so many decisions to be made. So I started out pretty straightforward, more like the Tombow one, where I did light up, heavy down, and then a little connector tail and just a straight crisscross. And it was a little bit boring. So here you can see when I started to put it in a word, I got a little bit more wavy on my crossbar there, but it was super easy to connect. And then if we fast forward to the end of the week, the end of the practice session, not a whole lot has changed other than just getting a little more fancy on this crossbar. And I like that, so I'm gonna stick with it. So let's go ahead and start. So I do think I want to play with just a teeny tiny little bit of a flare. Why are you focusing on the back of my hand? Into the beginning of this. So let's try that. So a little bit of an entrance, light up, heavy down, a tail to connect, and then... And I didn't end up crossing way past my heavy down because whatever letter is here, I don't want it to get too crowded, just for me personally. So I like that. I'm gonna stick with that. I think I do want to keep a little bit, just a tiny little bit of a foot there as an entrance. So leave yourself lots of room, especially if you like the flourish, to put your little crossbar on there. Because capital letters, they're supposed to be flourishy and have lots of fanciness going on, so at least in my opinion. But you can play with how fat it is up here. You can play with how pointy it is up there. It can be a little bit curved. It can be super pointy. There's lots of stuff you can play with. And you probably will change what you're doing as time goes on. So just play with it, and at some point you're gonna see one and be like, that's the one that sticks out to me, that's the one I like the most, that's the one I'm gonna try to keep recreating. And the nice thing about capital letters is if you're doing a quote or a sentence or something, you're highly unlikely to have two capital letters repeated in close proximity. So if they aren't exactly the same, it's not going to jump out at you, because you're not very often going to have two capital A's right next to each other. I mean, unless your first and your last names both start with capital A or something, that can happen. So that one looks a little too slanted to me. I definitely don't like when those two are almost touching. So I tried turning that upside down and I don't like that either. In a lot of cases, it's really hard to tell what you're gonna like until you start to put it in a word. So you may think you like something, and then as soon as you start using it in this first word, you change your mind, and that's totally fine. So all right, let's go into an X. So I can warn you now. Big capital letters, majuscules take up a lot of real estate. This is why we learn to choke way up on our pens. And when we get into a situation like we're going to be here with the X, where there's no good place to stop and move your hand, you're going to be even more glad that you learned to choke way up on your pen. So I'm going to do my little tail, straight up, light up, heavy down. And then my connector is just going to go right straight into my X. It's a lot of crisscrossing and stuff going on there, so. I'm finding that this little sharp spot that I make at the top of the X when I hold my pen and scooch my hand, I don't mind that at all. So I think that was a little bit of a discovery for me this week, is where I can cleanly, to my eye, pause and move my hand. I don't like how almost connected those two are. Okay, let's try Azure. So we'll get our Z in there. So for the Z, we're going to want to kind of just cover up that tail when we come into it. Azure. So I'm going to try to remember to keep my tail at the end of my A small, so I don't have as much to try to cover up with. Sure. And you get a little bit of an echo here on the cross on the A with the top and the bottom of the Z. And it looks, at least for me, it has a nice flow, a nice match to it. Make sure you're leaving yourself enough room to put the size of a crossbar on there that you want. So if you like a nice long one like me, then you're going to want to leave a little bit more space here before you start your next word. I don't know about you all, but writing Azure over and over again with that big flourishy cross makes me want to go on a Mediterranean cruise. Far, far, afar away. All right, let's try afar. We're going to do an F. That's okay, we can do it. And then it's going to be easy now with this little tail to just start my F. You can get as big and fancy on that little entrance as you want. This is your chance now. So now we're going to get a lot of entanglements going on. So my spacing is going to be extra wide to try to avoid that F. My nail polish looks blue, but it's actually purple with little green spots. The spread's making it look blue though. All right, let's try Army. So I saved the months for the very end of your practice, figuring that those are the most likely for you to write using that capital letter, and I want you to have had more time to develop something that you liked before you actually practiced something that you were much more likely to use in your planner. So they'll always be at the end of the week's practice if it's the right letter. All right, and I have lots of sticker out here, so I'm going to lose a lot of that space, but that's okay. All right, so Army. So on our next line, we're going to have to be careful not to hit the Y with our A, that entanglement. Fitting word for a red, white, and blue spread. Uh-oh. Is it lunchtime? Is it lunchtime? Is it lunchtime? Yes, Mom, I'm here. Can I just finish one more line? Just write Army one more time. Oh, he sees neighbor kitty out the window, so his attention is elsewhere. Okay, this is the exciting part. We're going to use an A like we would use it in our planner. Let's try April. I like it. I like it. Coming out of the P, cutting low enough to make this R look like it's not cut in half, you know what I mean? So that it looks like it has that back leg to it. April. Absolutely. So April's passed, but August is coming up. That's our next word, and it's next month, so it's timely. And last but not least, let's try an upcoming month. Let's try August. So here now you can strive to match your little cross on your A with the cross at the T, And it's going to look really nice as bookends across the two ends of the word August if they tie together. Dude, keep going, I'm almost done. Keep going. Can't fit too many repetitions of that word in there. Oh, let me finish 2 lines. Let me write August 6 more times and I'll be done. There we go, we made it. I feel like this week is huge because this is what we've been doing it all for, right? To get to the point where we could write something like the word August in our planner. If you were doing a spread where you used scrapbook paper or a blackout spread or something where you replaced the pages and you didn't want to use date stickers and you could write the word August on there for yourself. I mean, we're here, we made it, we did it. So there we go. There's our first capital letter, our capital A. Here we can compare Army with Army from last year. Very similar spreads, colors. So I definitely feel like my slant is much more consistent. My R is much better. Where I'm picking up and putting down my pen is much more hidden and smooth now. And it just is looking much more refined and smooth and practiced now. So, and you will get there as well. I hope you like this video. I hope it encourages you to keep going. Tag me on those posts on Instagram and Facebook so that I can add you to my stories and just we can encourage each other by showing our hard work and letting each other know that we're still hanging in there, we're still with it, we're still enjoying it. So if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you!